Our topic, sleep, proudly presents. Almost everything will work again if you unplug it for a few minutes, including you. Anne Lamott. Welcome. Rest your head on the pillow, close your eyes, and leave this day behind. Let your mind relax, let your heart grow lighter. Tonight, our topic is burnout syndrome.
Burnout syndrome is a complex psychological condition that is rapidly becoming more common today and seriously affects many people's quality of life. Although it is often associated with work life, burnout is not limited to professional settings and can leave deep marks on personal life as well. This syndrome arises from the exhaustion of an individual's physical, emotional, and mental energy. Feeling drained, empty, and sometimes hopeless are among its most basic symptoms. So, what are the real causes behind burnout syndrome? Why do people reach this point, and how exactly do the problems develop? In this section, we will examine in detail the main issues that create burnout syndrome, the difficulties experienced by individuals, and its effects on daily life. Burnout syndrome usually develops as a result of prolonged stress and pressure. The rapidly changing pace of modern life, constantly increasing expectations, and difficulties in balancing work and personal life put individuals under unbearable stress. When a person faces growing responsibilities, endless tasks, and insufficient support, this burden gradually becomes heavier and energy reserves decrease. Increased demands at work, performance pressure, job insecurity, or unsatisfactory working conditions are among the most common triggers of burnout. However, family problems, economic difficulties, health issues, and social isolation are also important factors that feed the burnout process. The most observed condition in people experiencing burnout is physical fatigue and exhaustion. Having difficulty even starting the day, constant weakness, sleep problems, headaches, and digestive issues are just some of the physical symptoms. In addition, emotional exhaustion is an inseparable part of the process. Feeling emotionally empty, hopelessness, and increasing pessimism deepen over time. The person gradually distances themselves from a surrounding that does not understand or support them. The desire to communicate decreases, social interactions become difficult, and the feeling of loneliness intensifies. This situation negatively affects both the individual's psychology and social life. Another important dimension of burnout syndrome is mental exhaustion. People under intense stress often experience difficulty concentrating, trouble making decisions, and a decline in creativity and motivation. Mental fatigue makes it harder for a person to carry out daily tasks, reduces work performance, and even shakes their self-confidence. During this process, the individual no longer feels as satisfied with their work as before and begins to question the meaning of what they do. This questioning triggers professional burnout and leads to a loss of motivation. Burnout syndrome is challenging not only for the individual but also for those around them. Family and friend relationships are negatively affected by this condition. A burnt-out person becomes unable to communicate healthily with their environment. Emotional outbursts such as impatience, irritability, and hypersensitivity become more frequent. This leads to weakening of social support networks and further isolation of the individual. Since burnout also causes performance decline and loss of interest at work, career development is disrupted. In the long term, changing jobs, quitting work, or chronic job dissatisfaction can be inevitable results of this process. On a deeper level, the fundamental dynamics underlying burnout syndrome are the disruptions in a person's relationships with themselves and their environment. Behaviors such as crossing personal boundaries, perfectionism, taking on excessive responsibility, and consistently putting one's own needs second create the groundwork for exhaustion. At the same time, insufficient support systems, weakened psychological resilience, and undeveloped stress coping skills accelerate the process. Therefore, burnout is not only work-related but a multidimensional life problem. People experiencing burnout often blame themselves. Internal criticisms such as "I am not good enough," "I must work harder," and "I am failing" trap the person in a deep spiral. These negative thought patterns lead to decreased self-worth and increased hopelessness. Because they constantly feel inadequate, they push themselves even harder, and this vicious cycle intensifies burnout. The perfectionist standards of social media and the outside world reinforce these feelings, causing the individual to compare themselves to others and deepen their sense of insufficiency. Those struggling with burnout often have difficulties regulating their emotions. Problems expressing feelings, sudden outbursts of anger, or emotional numbness negatively affect daily life. This emotional turmoil makes it hard for the person to be at peace with themselves and lowers their quality of life. At the same time, the risk of developing psychiatric problems such as depression, anxiety, and sleep disorders increases. This shows that burnout is not just a temporary condition but a serious mental health issue that requires professional support. People having trouble coping with burnout sometimes do not realize or ignore their condition. However, symptoms worsen over time and leave lasting effects in every area of life. The person feels more helpless, weak, and exhausted with each passing day. At this point, it is crucial not to underestimate the problems or see them as temporary tiredness but to accept the seriousness of the situation and take action. In conclusion, burnout syndrome is not only an individual problem but also a social issue. The complexity of modern life, high expectations, and declining social support systems worsen this problem. Therefore, individuals experiencing burnout are not alone, and it is possible to overcome this condition. In the next section, we will discuss ways to cope with burnout, healthy habits, and lasting solutions in detail. These solutions will support your physical, mental, and emotional health, bringing hope and energy back into your life. Recovering strength from the depths of burnout may seem like a difficult journey at times. However, with the right steps, this journey turns into a hopeful and healing process. In this section, we will focus on effective methods, healthy behaviors, and permanent solutions to overcome burnout. Our goal is to help you reconcile with yourself, increase your life energy, and restore your mental balance. First, you need to be compassionate toward yourself in the struggle against burnout. Instead of blaming, judging, or overly criticizing yourself, accept that your situation is a natural and human reaction. Saying to yourself, "I have the right to rest, heal, and find myself again" is one of the fundamental steps of recovery. A compassionate approach makes it easier to cope with stress and lightens your emotional burden. Rest and sleep quality are among the most important tools in the fight against burnout. Adequate and quality sleep renews your body and mind and reduces stress. To establish a sleep routine, try to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day. Limit screen time before sleep and develop relaxing rituals such as taking a warm shower, doing light meditation, or practicing deep breathing exercises to facilitate falling asleep. Also, taking short breaks during the day helps your body rest and preserve your energy. Physical activity has a powerful effect in coping with burnout. Regular walking, yoga, light jogging, or any sport you enjoy reduces stress hormones, increases endorphin secretion, and improves your mood. Moving also calms your mind and provides mental clarity. It is important that physical activities are not too demanding and are done with pleasure. Setting small goals and gradually making these activities a habit is the healthiest approach. Another important way to cope with burnout is to strengthen your social support system. When you feel lonely, talking to a trusted friend, family member, or professional counselor and sharing your feelings brings great relief. Social connections increase mental resilience and provide strength in difficult times. Do not hesitate to ask for support. It is a sign of wisdom and courage, not weakness. Learning stress management techniques is essential to protect your mental health. Practices such as meditation, mindfulness, breathing exercises, and guided relaxation are effective in reducing the effects of anxiety and stress. Even practicing these techniques for a short time daily creates balance in your mind and alleviates burnout symptoms. Regular practice gradually increases your mental resilience. Taking time for yourself and setting personal boundaries are indispensable in overcoming burnout. Define what you can and must do, and learn to say no. Put perfectionist attitudes aside and set realistic goals. Remember, I do not have to do everything is a lifesaver for your mental health. Prioritizing yourself and caring for your needs are fundamental to both physical and mental healing. Nutrition habits also play an important role in coping with burnout. Eating regularly and balanced stabilizes your energy levels and strengthens your immune system. Avoid processed foods and excessive caffeine consumption to reduce blood sugar fluctuations. Drink plenty of water and consume fresh fruits and vegetables to supply your body with the vitamins and minerals it needs. A healthy body is the foundation of a healthy mind. Activities aimed at personal development can be effective in preventing burnout. Acquiring new hobbies, engaging in creative activities, reading, writing, or pursuing artistic interests nourish your soul and provide a new source of energy. Finding ways to express yourself enriches your inner world and increases your joy of life. These activities, starting with small steps, gradually add meaning to your life. Seeking professional help is a critical step in fighting burnout syndrome. Psychotherapy, counseling, or support groups help you explore the root of the problem with tailored methods. Therapy allows you to better understand your feelings and thoughts and supports you in gaining new coping skills. If necessary, medication under psychiatric supervision can also be included in the process. This depends on the severity of the condition and is managed with professional guidance. Making routine changes creates positive transformations in your lifestyle. Taking short breaks throughout your day, spending time in nature, limiting technology use, and feeling close to nature benefit your soul. These changes reduce your stress levels and provide mental clarity. Regularly applying these innovations improves your quality of life. Recognizing and changing negative thought patterns is an important step in combating burnout. Talking to yourself with positive, supportive, and encouraging statements helps keep you motivated. Replacing negative self-talk with constructive and healing thoughts strengthens your mental health. Over time, this habit helps you manage stress more effectively. Finally, patience and determination are necessary. Recovering from burnout takes time. It is natural and expected to experience ups and downs during this process. Be compassionate with yourself, celebrate small achievements, and remain open to trying again every day. Making positive changes in your life will bring you lasting peace and happiness. Burnout, no matter how challenging, is a condition that can be overcome. With the right steps, you can bring new meaning, energy, and joy into your life. Remember, you are valuable and strong. Taking good care of yourself and embracing your life with love is in your hands. You are not alone on this journey, and there is always hope. Dealing with burnout, rediscovering yourself, and regaining your energy start from within. This process requires patience, self-compassion, and determination. First, remember that experiencing burnout is part of being human. It is not a weakness but an awareness of your limits and respecting them. Being kind to yourself is the foundation of healing and finding peace. Burnout often arises from neglecting ourselves. In the rush of daily life, we forget to make time for ourselves and exhaust our souls with the pressure of "I must do everything." Therefore, the first step is to recognize and prioritize your needs. Pay attention to your needs for sleep, nutrition, physical activity, social connection, and mental rest. Don't hesitate to ask yourself, what do I need today? What can I do for myself today? The answers to these questions will guide you. Burnout and sleeplessness are closely connected. Good and regular sleep allows the brain and body to renew. Paying attention to sleep hygiene is one of the strongest tools to overcome burnout. Avoid screens like phones and computers before bedtime, ensure your environment is quiet, dark, and cool, and try to go to bed and wake up at regular times. Gentle relaxation exercises, meditation, or calming breathing techniques can ease the transition to sleep. Burnout is often fueled by intense disappointment, feelings of inadequacy, and self-blame. However, suppressing or denying your emotions hinders the healing process. It is important to understand and accept your feelings without judgment. This is not weakness but a natural part of being human. Being able to say to yourself, "I struggled today," and that is normal, and approaching yourself with love and compassion is one of the most valuable steps toward recovery. Burnout is not a lonely struggle. Sharing your feelings with trusted friends, family members, or professionals can be relieving. Humans are social beings and need connection. Feeling lonely can deepen burnout. Therefore, connecting with people who understand you and do not judge you makes a big difference. Don't hesitate to seek professional help from a therapist or counselor if needed. Making big changes may seem difficult, but small and sustainable steps can positively affect your mood. For example, a 5-minute walk every day, listening to your favorite music, a short meditation, or taking several deep breaths throughout the day can help your mind rest. Giving yourself small rewards and adding enjoyable activities is important. One of the main causes of burnout is the pressure of perfectionism. The thought "I must do everything perfectly" increases fatigue and lowers motivation. Planning tasks within realistic limits, accepting flaws, and saying no when necessary increase your freedom. You don't have to be perfect. Doing your best is enough. Moving your body helps reduce stress hormones and improves mood by releasing endorphins. Daily brisk walks, yoga, light exercise, or spending time in nature provide mental relaxation. The calming effect of nature is very effective in reducing burnout. If possible, include activities such as spending time in a park, forest, or walking by the sea in your life. Activities that bring you joy outside of work and responsibilities reduce the effects of burnout. Painting, writing, listening to music, gardening, reading books, these hobbies nourish your soul. Set aside small daily moments for your own time. This relaxes your mind and boosts your motivation. Meditation, breathing exercises, and mindfulness practices are powerful tools in fighting burnout. Even a few minutes of these techniques during the day reduce stress levels and help you live in the moment. Use these methods to observe your thoughts without judgment and break negative mental cycles. Burnout can sometimes be difficult to overcome alone. Getting support from psychologists, psychiatrists, or therapists can strengthen you. Professionals can offer appropriate therapy methods, medication, or supportive treatments. Asking for help is never a sign of weakness but a wise step. Work life is one of the most common areas where burnout occurs. Reducing workload, taking breaks, not working outside of office hours, and protecting your personal space are important. Likewise, setting boundaries in social relationships and avoiding excessive social pressures help preserve your energy. Physical and mental health are one whole. Balanced and regular nutrition and drinking enough water increase your energy and strengthen your mental resilience. Avoid processed foods, excessive caffeine and sugar, and consume fresh fruits and vegetables to provide your body with necessary support. Burnout sometimes results from losing connection with our life purpose. Rediscovering yourself, your passions, and values adds meaning to your life and promotes long-term healing. Setting small goals and taking one step each day increase your motivation. Seeking meaning in life and focusing on it nourishes your soul. Carrying the burdens of the past, blaming yourself, or not forgiving others disrupts your inner peace. Forgiving is not for others but for freeing your own soul. Letting go of the past opens the door to new beginnings and allows you to gather your energy again. Healing is a process, and expecting instant results only increases distress. Being patient with yourself, celebrating small progress, and continuing to take steps in this direction every day are very important. Even saying to yourself, "I am better today," brings comfort to your soul. Dear friend, life can be challenging and exhausting at times. However, overcoming these difficulties is in your hands. Trust yourself, love yourself, and know that you are not alone in this process. Burnout is a door. When you open it, a new life and a journey of peace with yourself begin. Every step on the road to recovery brings you closer to a stronger and more peaceful self. Remember, you are in control of your life. Treating yourself well, setting boundaries, nourishing your soul, and approaching life with love are your greatest gifts. You are valuable and important. After every dark night, the sun rises again. And that sun will shine for you too.
If tonight brought you a moment of peace, you can gift that feeling to others too. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and share your thoughts in the comments. Who knows, maybe the next sleep topic will come from you.